Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. Karen, would you please do the roll call?
Chris,
Here.
Richard, Sally,
Present.
Nancy.
Yes.
Heather,
Here.
Jim.
Okay, do we have any amendments to the agenda for today's meeting? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
So move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, do we have any amendments to the minutes from the August 11th meeting? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
So move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have any public comments that are unrelated to matters appearing on the consent calendar or public hearing items? Hearing none, we'll move on. There's nothing on the consent calendar. We have one public hearing, consideration of an application from Dave Omer for a conditional use permit for a rock quarry / burrow operation at 521 Mitkoff Highway. Do we have any public testimony?
Any buttons I need to?
Nope.
We're on.
Yep.
You're live.
Yeah, hopefully this is a simple request. On my property out at 5 Mile, 535 Mitkoff Highway, we have a rock pit. It was an active rock pit prior to the year 2000. Hasn't been rock taken out, but it still exists readily available. Recently, with some of the development, I've been needing rock. I've got a sister that wants to fill some rock. I've got friends that are developing property. So it occurred to me, maybe it's time to start taking rock. So I've spoke with Liz, and she said that you can just take rock, but there's a restriction at 2,000 yards. And so that I do everything proper and there's no questions. I just wanted to reopen the pit so that I could do the jobs I want to do, as well as I have had people approach me about being able to buy some rock. So back in, what was it, 1985, when the zoning was changed, I was sitting at the desk here with you guys, and in a rural residential area, which we changed it to, it was specifically said that an allowable conditional use was rock pits, because we had lots of rock pits in areas that were going to become rural residential. So I've spoken with Jack Slott, the nearest neighbor to the north, and he said that he has no concerns about it. I own 900 feet there along the road. So then the next nearest neighbor would be Jeff Mucci, which is 750 feet plus a right of way that the mental health owns away from it. So there's no one really nearby, surrounded by trees, not planning on doing any blasting. Just want to be able to excavate some rock and utilize it. Thank you very much. If there's any questions, please let me know.
Mm-hmm. Do we have a motion to discuss it? It's a motion, a second to be able to discuss.
Move we allow this request for CUP.
Discussion?
Kind of answered my question because. Is it on a hill, a mountain?
Big hill.
Hill, okay, because only thing I was worried about, but you're not blasting, was landslides.
Well, no, and you mentioned an interesting landslides. Yeah, we had a giant landslide that came down from the property up above a number of years ago. And so landslides are a possibility. The lot to the up the mountainside from us is 31 acres, lot 13, that I just purchased. And so it's an industrial lot that is up above the lot that I'm in. So.
Any other discussion, questions?
I'm very familiar with the property and I see no problem.
If I may, just want to add
Yes,
one
Liz.
thing. I'm super loud. Okay. Just if you could consider putting into your motion that a condition is no blasting, so that if Mr. Omer changes his mind at some point, he could certainly come back and reapply, and then we could let the neighbors know that, we're
Yeah.
in a different situation. But I think it would be a good idea, since he included that in his application, to include that in your conditions of approval, that, you know, this is a no blasting permit.
Make a friendly amendment to add language that says he will not blast unless, you know, he comes back and asks for permission later. But as it stands, I'd like to make a friendly amendment to say no blasting is allowed.
Second.
Right? If there's no further discussion, Karen, would you please do the roll call?
Sally.
Wait,
Wait, wait.
excuse
Yep.
me.
Sorry.
Are we voting on the amendment and then the main motion?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
Sally.
you.
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jim. And the
Okay.
main motion?
Mhm.
Um,
As amended, yes.
As amended. Jim,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Sally,
Yes.
Nancy.
Yes.
All right. Moving on to non-agenda items. Any commissioner comments?
Yes, I'm wondering when the map system will be up so we can find out where Hogue Alley is. I went up looking for it, couldn't find it the other day, just out of curiosity.
So the other day, our search tool on the map went down, and we've been in contact with the software provider, and they were not able to fix it for us on the first go around. And so we're still working with them, trying to get that function back. And we don't know why it disappeared, but we were making some updates that had nothing to do with the search, and then it just disappeared, and they weren't able to restore it. So we don't know why. They're working on it, and they might have to just recreate the application for us and have us load in all the data again and see if that helps. But right now, it's not working.
The lucky one. I was on the site when it was working.
Yeah, it just happened the last couple days.
Okay.
Tried to look yesterday. Karen and I did, and it was not there.
Yeah. And then and today, for some reason, it was just asking me to have a password and login, which normally you don't need to get on there. So now we're having trouble. They recreated it, and now we're having trouble sharing it publicly when they created a new version of it for us. So some technical difficulties all around on that one, but we're working on it. We're aware, and but thanks for mentioning it in case we hadn't seen it. Appreciate that.
Liz, is there any staff comments?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to give you a short update on the Hogue Alley. And Ray, correct me if I get it wrong, but we heard back from Mr. Miller that he would be interested in entering a voluntary correction agreement, which basically we give them a little bit more time, and they agree to take care of the situation, which is that shed structure by a certain date. We put together the voluntary correction agreement and sent it to him a couple weeks ago now, almost 3 weeks now, maybe. And then heard nothing back. And now we just sent him another reminder saying, you know, if you don't enter into this agreement, then we're going to do a notice of order and abatement. And then there's fines and blah, 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 and all that comes with that. So if you wanted this more time, and you need to sign this agreement in the short term so that we can have something on record saying that, you know, you've agreed to take care of this. And so that's where it's currently sitting. We just sent that yesterday. So we get sporadic communication from him,
Mhm.
but not consistent communication. So, but if we don't hear anything, I think by the end of the month, I guess.
The 30th was the.
Yeah. So then we'll probably proceed with a notice of order of abatement, which at that point, they're subject to fines, and the borough can, if it desires, go in and actually abate the nuisance. So that's kind of where we're at. We would
Shed-
give them a couple extra weeks to appeal that decision if you wanted to, but
Was anything mentioned about the fact that there's no water or sewer facilities on there? So the defecating in the yard should cease?
so we don't have any documentary proof of that. And so that's not something that we're including in the nuisance. I did talk to the chief again about making some additional visits, but I don't control the police, and so I can only ask.
Mhm.
And
So what
so,
about the letter that, Palmer sent?
so yeah, I still need to put together a memo on that, which he's aware of the situation, but I do want to follow up, and yeah, I need to do that still.
We have a game camera that we could just stick out there. It's motion activated.
I'm almost afraid, but
You know, that sounds like we're surveilling.
No, you're looking for bears in the neighborhood.
Yeah, bear problem in this town.
Is it possible to put it somewhere where the neighborhood can't see it and
One of the neighbors
steal?
is all-
Well, the neighborhood, inclusive, all inclusive. I didn't want to name any names for the minutes. Because it might be an item that could be sold, stolen and sold, resold.
again, I think I will send that memo to the manager, and if the manager desires to elevate it, then I think that's probably what needs to happen, because
Yeah.
my world is small that I control.
Yeah. All right. Are there any further comments, staff or commissioner? Hearing none.
Say we do have an agenda item for the next meeting.
Okay.
just So you know.
What is our agenda item for the next meeting? I don't see anything on here.
No, it's not something
Yeah.
that you need to know. I mean,
Okay.
you don't have to do advanced
Right.
scheduling stuff. It's a, I believe it's a subdivision,
Okay.
a minor subdivision. Yeah, out the road. That's the one I have so far. Just to let you know that we will be having a meeting. We
On
have
October
something
12th?
On October
Yeah.
12th, yes.
And our next regularly scheduled meeting is October 12th at noon.
In person.
Oh, right, yeah, thank you, Sally. So second reading happened on the ordinance change to allow for members to attend by Zoom to be counted towards a quorum, and that passed in second reading, and so one more reading at the assembly level.
So when's that likely to happen?
So let's see, the next meeting is when, at the first Monday in October, right? Is that right? Or do we have one more? I think we have one more.
October 12th, I thought.
No, for the assembly.
Assembly.
The assembly.
Oh,
I have
yeah.
to look on my
October 4th.
calendar. One more in September, so by the end of the month, I would guess,
Okay.
the 28th.
I was happy to see we had some support on the assembly. It brings back the Bill Manish problem several years ago, and that, we don't want to repeat that. We don't want to be the group that held things up.
No, exactly. And I think even, it sounded like to me, even if there wasn't support at the assembly level, there was certainly support for letting the planning commission do it.
Just
So,
us, yeah.
Yeah, just because I think people recognize, the way your schedule is every month, and some things need 2 months, and,
Yeah.
so then that makes it, if there's no quorum, that makes it 3 months, which is,
Yeah, and it's
somewhat
especially with
unacceptable.
2 seats open, it's
yeah,
Yeah.
you're getting a little bit dicier. yeah.
right.
It's good to have Dave on the assembly. He kind of lets people know things on the side, so it's not a big brouhaha.
All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Don't move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Off now?
No.
Mine? No, it is. It's wrong. It's sunshine.